Hello and welcome to Mark Fraser's Lidl Kitchen, where I'll show you how to make the most of the special offers in Lidl week by week. Now this week, the pick of the week is this, a honey pomelo, 89p down from 129. You may have seen them, it's a little bit like a big grapefruit, but it tastes just a little bit sweeter. It's not quite as sour as a grapefruit. And I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful dish called a salmon ceviche. Now, a ceviche is a way of preparing fish that uses acid, usually from a citrus fruit, to kind of cook the fish, but without any heat. The technical term is denaturing the protein, but think of it like cooking, but just without any heat. So the ingredients, I've got a couple of fillets of salmon over here, which I've skinned and which have been curing for about an hour. I always cure fish before I prepare it, by which I mean I just sprinkle all the sides with salt because it draws some of the moisture out, gives the fish a firmer texture and makes it easier to cook and I think nicer to eat. So I leave that to cure for anywhere between half an hour and an hour, and then before I use the fish I'm just going to wash it in cold water just to wash the excess salt off. For the ceviche we're going to use the juice of the pomelo. And I'm going to add to that a juice of a lime because I think it gives it a nice freshness as well. And then I'm going to make a dressing, very, very simple dressing. So in this bowl I've got a tin of coconut milk. I'm going to add to that a little bit of curry paste. I'm going to use green curry paste, but you could use red, it doesn't really matter. A little bit of brown sugar. Now this is an Indonesian brown sugar that was brought back from holiday, but any brown sugar would be absolutely fine. A little bit of salt, and then to that a little bit of finely chopped red onion, pepper and fresh ginger. So they're the ingredients. It's a very, very simple recipe, and the first thing I'm going to do is juice the pomelo. So I'm just going to cut it in half. Now you can see that they come in different colours. Sometimes they're really quite deep red, but these ones are just a kind of light colour, a little bit like a grapefruit. And I'm just going to juice it. Now you don't get as much juice out of them as you think you're going to get, but hopefully we'll get enough. Now sometimes what you have to do is cut it in half again, and then I'm just going to put all the juice into this this bowl, which is where I'm going to prepare the fish. Sometimes you have to just get in and squeeze it to get as much juice out as you can. You don't need a huge amount, and if you get a little bit of pulp in there, that doesn't matter at all. It will just add to the flavour, and the texture is quite nice as well. So you can see I've got the juice there of about half. That's probably going to be enough when I add the lime to it. So let's move those out of the way. So I'm just going to chop the lime in half and just juice that. Just add that. So you can see how much I've got. That would be absolutely plenty to do a couple of fillets. Now the salmon, I'm just going to rinse under cold water just to take the excess salt off, because otherwise it would just be too salty. And then I'm just going to cut them. It's up to you how finely you want to chop them. I like to leave them into pieces about that sort of size. What's that, 5-6 millimeters, something like that across. You don't want to make it too small because the danger is you just end up with mush, and you want something that's still got a little bit of texture to it. But I'm just cutting across the grain, so I get some nice pieces of salmon. Now I would serve this as a first course, maybe as a light lunch. You could add some avocado to it, you could add some salad to it, up to you, but even just on its own it's lovely and a kind of lovely light starter to a meal. So take the salmon, just pop it in the juice, mix it around, make sure it's coated, and then I'm going to leave that for about 15 minutes. So welcome back. The salmon has been marinating in the pomelo and lime juice for about 15 minutes. And you can probably see it's gone a kind of slightly opaque colour now, so it's done now. So all I'm going to do is just drain it and leave that for a couple of moments while I just make the dressing. So in this bowl I've got a can of coconut milk. To that I'm going to add about a teaspoon of curry paste, but it's up to you how much you like. Pinch of salt, a little bit of brown sugar, probably about a teaspoon I think is enough, and then a little bit of onion, a little bit of red pepper, and a little bit of ginger. There's no sort of hard and fast amount, you've just got to taste it and see when it tastes right for you. Just mix everything together. Just like that. Just taste. That's really nice. So I'm just going to put the salmon into a bowl. This is probably do a couple of people for a starter. As I say, you could add some avocado to it. You could add some salad, anything like that. So I'm just going to add some dressing. Just about that amount, and then I'm just going to chop up a little bit of coriander, just like that, and there we are, salmon ceviche in pomelo and lime juice.